Okay. Shiva,
Sir,
how are you today?
good sir, good sir.
Good. So, you attended previously multi-cloud coaching, right? AWS and
Yes,
Azure. So you did stage one, stage two courses, did POCs for AWS and Azure, right? So
yes sir, yes.
nowadays, if you see, um, ChatGPT and some LLM model related tools have come for AI tools. So everybody is asking in cloud sector, cloud skills need to be upgraded to prompt engineering, basically. So what is
Mm,
prompt engineering basically? If you look for a solution, let us say you want to build one website in multi locations, multi regions. So you need to write the solution as cloud engineer or solution architect. How you are going to write? Normally, you are studying the AWS documentation and do some trial and error methods for creating some kind of setup using the screen operations. And later on, you are getting confidence. Yes, I can create the website, and this is the proposal or this is the solution you are going to give it to the client. So in such case, how much time you used to spend for one simple solution for website creation, the setup, and after that, if you want to do automation with Terraform, you need to spend a lot of testing on the code, particular code area. So when
mm,
ChatGPT came, so life became very easy. And the same, the like ChatGPT, we can embed chatbots in AWS solutions also. Let us say you want to write some solutions for a particular client on
mm,
different areas. Let us say you want to build ELB load balancers for their website. Now you are going to study the setup. After studying the setup, you are going to give a inputs to this particular chat GPT and asking questions yes, with different prompts and getting the answers. The same way, we can prepare in-house bots using same LLM models and these kind of bots, what they are going to do, whatever data we give, the past data knowledge where from cloud area, AWS or Azure, with the different issues, solutions, root causes, such kind of things, then it is going to give the answers for our solutions. Let us say I got stuck up in website access. 404 error has come. Sometimes it comes, right, when IP is not working or internet is not working, kind of thing, right? So for that, you're going to ask the chat GPT, sorry, bot. If you ask the bot what happens, it is going to give some kind of solutions, feasible solutions. But if you ask the chat bot, chat GPT, the prompt should be perfect and knowledge need to be given to the chat GPT. Knowledge means what work you are doing, what is the environment, and what kind of issues you face with all that kind of things. So this kind of information, as an organization, you can feed in the database itself while designing the chatbot, and the chatbot will pick up from that, and it is going to give the answers to us as user. Let us say you go to any bank site. In bank site, it is going to ask the bot. Bots are there instead of giving the help desk calls or chats by help desk people. So they fix bot up to some extent. Some extent
mm,
means let us say you want to take the loan process. Then it will ask questions. So what is your PAN ID and what is your civil details, such kind of things. If we say I don't have civil details, you look for that means it will bring the civil scoring also, and it will say you are eligible for loan or not. After that, what it will say what kind of property you are giving for guaranteed for this loan purpose. All that details it is going to ask. Then later on, it's going to give a link for the documents to be downloaded by us and fill it up and upload into the site. That is the whole process. They have automated it through the bot. The same way here for any AWS solutions, if somebody wants it, some professionals, DevOps or AWS professionals, we can prepare a chart bot uh, and for different roles, so issues identification or some kind of solutions. So here what happens? We have designed a course for AWS prompt engineering coaching. We'll see the roles and activities in the below slides, but let us go through this first slide first. This is a 3 month course. We are going to develop a chatbot for AWS solutions. During this coaching, what we are going to do, we are learning roles, chatbot design plans, and design and development activities, and implement chatbot through with our POC demos for profile upgrade. See, whatever you are going to design chatbot for particular solutions of AWS, you are going to give demos for each phase. How many phases are there? We'll see in this slide. So now let us move forward. What is this? So particularly, I want to restrict the people for joining. They should have background of the following: solid experience in AWS services. They should not be like trial people or something without having experience. They need to have live experience. Then only they'll be able to understand the solutions and get the data to feed for database for bot usage. And second point is proficiency in programming language like Python or Java for chatbot development. Normally, the bots are developed with the Python scripting, and most of the databases they use non-SQL databases like DynamoDB. They all are made from the Java environment. That's where the restrictions are kept it here. And the second one, third one is strong problem-solving skills and ability to troubleshoot complex issues effectively. So what way they are going to get this ability? Because they have experience in AWS services implementation in the experience. Those working professionals can come and work for this chatbots designing, development, and demonstrations kind of thing, like a coaching, job level coaching, and knowledge of AI, machine learning concepts. Yes, obviously nowadays many people attended many coaching sessions, initial concept level coaching sessions, and they are well aware of that. So when they come to this coaching, yes, they will be aware of that. That is the expectation. With a focus on language models, so they will know what is the difference between chatbot, Bing, Bard, such kind of LLMs? So excellent communication and collaboration skills to work with cross-functional teams. Basically, in the live, they're going to work with cross-functional teams by having AWS prompt engineering activities. So we'll see the third one. The roles and tasks of an AWS prompt engineer, solution designer, and solution. So if you see AWS prompt engineer tasks, his role is designing and implementing the chain of thought prompting method within the chatbot application. So basically, when you work with ChatGPT, we have experience to develop different prompts for different solutions. The similar way, this guy should be capable of handling the prompting methods with the chatbot application and setting up the chatbot using AWS Lex, creating intents and slots to handle user queries and collect data. So Lex is a tool we're going to see in the project activities descriptions. That tool, they should be having awareness on that and the usage of that also. And integrating the LLM language model, large language model with AWS SageMaker. SageMaker is another AI service from AWS, and training it using historical data. Normally through SageMaker, we are going to do machine learning and deep learning kind of activities. So, implementing a COT prompting mechanisms, change of thought process, basically, chain of thought process, thought prompting process. Basically, we are going to do that mechanism to capture intermediate steps and decision points. So, utilizing AWS Comprehend is another service which we are going to use for AI activities for extracting meaningful explanations from the LLM decision making process. Basically, what happens, the chatbot, when we ask the questions, it need to collect the answers, different answers, and provide to the users. That decision making process is made through particular service in AWS. That is comprehend. Generating explanation reports for each recommendation and storing them in Amazon S3. So whatever user asks, the whether it is frequently asked questions or unique questions, those answers and his feedback also need to be stored for future usage purpose. So that kind of things also we are going to do as prompt engineer activities. Incorporating a user-facing explanation feature within the chatbot interface. So these are the prompt engineer activities in high level. to design this particular application. So AWS prompt engineering applications with chatbot providing as help desk assistant. Now, this is the role of the AWS prompt engineer in that kind of projects. So here, next role is solution designer. The role of solution designer is translating business requirements into detailed technical specifications for the chatbot. So obviously, business requirements will be there that need to be converted into technical requirements. The technical requirements, whatever the AWS prompt engineer is working here, these will be the technical requirements. So you'll not have direct interaction with users, but the designer will collect from the users and convert them into technical aspects and provide to AWS prompt engineer. So second one is designing the overall architecture of chatbot, including components, integration points. Yes, obviously how it is connected from each services, what kind of data flow is going on for chatbot operation purpose. You need to design it. Selecting appropriate technologies, including AWS services, to implement the chatbot. Yes, obviously the AI services are there in AWS. You need to decide which service need to be used, where, how, all these things. Creating diagrams, flowcharts, and technical documentation for the chatbot architecture. So this is the designer's activity where the AWS prompt engineer will collect these diagrams. According to that, he'll plot that particular service for connection purpose. Ensuring that chatbot's design aligns with industry best practices and security standards. Yes, obviously, we're going to use some kind of standards while following this designing of the chatbot. Collaborating with the developers and engineers to ensure successful implementation. In live, when designer work with live operations, you need to collaborate with the different teams. So next one is the uh, solution architect, basically. Next one. Okay. So, what is the role of solution architect in prompt engineering area with the AI tools? Defining the technical vision and roadmap for the chatbot and its integration with the organization's IT infrastructure. Basically, what happens if cloud department is there, there will be multiple clouds. Let us say AWS Cloud Solution Department. That department will have some kind of IT infrastructure set up, and they will have their own IT governance that need to be implemented by the solution architect. If you see the activities from designer to solution architect, it is totally different. This guy is working on the high level with the management people. Designing end-to-end solutions that span multiple systems, platforms, and technologies. But basically, it is going to be connected to different things. So ensuring that chatbot's architecture is scalable, fault tolerant, and secure. Yes, obviously, conducting risk assessment and identifying potential points of failure in the chatbot's architecture. So overseeing the implementation and deployment of chatbot, providing technical guidance for development teams. So basically, the purpose of chatbot is it need to gather knowledge where from the database, whatever we fed in the backend while designing the chatbot, that need to be provided to the development team and other teams. So, so here, this kind of activities you need to handle it, whether it is serving the purpose to the development teams, keyword teams, user teams, such kind of things. Reviewing and assessing the implemented chatbot to ensure alignment with evolving business needs. Basically, the business needs are getting changed every time, depends on the market demand. So they are going to see that. Then staying up to date with emerging technologies and industry trends to inform future IT investments. Basically, this guy need to work with these things also, strategic planning also. In strategic planning, the technology trends and changing also will be there. Now today, these LLMs have come. Tomorrow, generative AI also can be introduced later. So you need to be aware of the technology trends and the implementation and benefits also for cost savings purpose. That is the role of the solution architect. If you see, we have seen the in prompt engineering areas, AWS prompt engineer role, and we have seen designer role, we have seen architect role. These are the different roles. Now, let us say if we are doing the project in our POCs, in our proof of concepts in the coaching, what kind of activities we are going to do? I have listed it here. Now, we are planning and designing implementation of chatbot solution. Basically, the purpose of chatbot is it need to handle it, whether it is serving the purpose to the development teams, implementing of AWS Solution Expert chatbot. We are naming that AWS Solution Expert as chatbot. Okay. The role we are considering here is for cloud solution architect activities and tasks. Basically, if you see the implementation of cloud solution and designer activities, solution designer and architect activities. These are the two slides we have discussed it. The similar activities we are going to implement it to help to the surrounding teams in the project. So as an AWS cloud solution architect, your role is to design and implement a scalable and efficient architecture for an LLM-powered chatbot that provides personalized recommendation based on user interaction and historical data. What is historical data? Let us say you have a lot of issues for each service configuration, EC2, S3, VPC, VPC peering, then you have RDS, then you have load balancers, you have auto scaling, you have CloudWatch, then you will have other services also, special services, maybe AI services also can be there when we are working with these projects. So all those services might have faced a lot of issues when they were configuring it. That kind of data we are going to collect it, put it into the chatbot database. Through the database, the chatbot is going to analyze it through different AI services integrated for chatbot operation purpose. We discussed about the Comprehend and other the SageMaker, Lex as a service, AI service. Those services are going to perform the actions to supply the data to the chatbot. So with the historical data, we are going to manage that. So to incorporate this prompting method, following are the chatbot design activities. How we are going to manage this historical data means we are going to collect from the internet all the data either through ChatGPT or some other ways also, or AWS documentation also can have. If you see AWS documentation, there are a lot of errors list is given on the AWS documentation for each service. Those error lists also can be captured and the root causes are given there in the documentation that can be captured and it can be kept in the database also for chatbot operation purpose. That is the historical data basically we are considering. So now let us go to the activities. What is first activity? Chatbot architecture with AWS Lex. Set up the chatbot using AWS Lex, a service for building conversational interfaces. If you see any chatbot, banking sector or hospital area, the bot will be standing there and it is going to interact with through the interfaces. Those interfaces we are going to build it through the Lex service here in AWS. Create the necessary intents and slots to handle user queries and collect relevant data for the Yes, obviously, through the queries, user is asking this question is that should go through Lex only to other services as a query, user query. Data collection with the Amazon DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a non-SQL database. It's not relational based. Non-SQL database can handle more text processing. In our database, historical data, all content is related with text-based only. No numerics, no special characters, such kind of things. If there are images, images can be there for architecture purposes, for giving some solutions, kind of things. Rarely we can see that. Okay. Store user interactions and historical data in Amazon DynamoDB and an AWS managed NoSQL database service, basically for storing the data, whatever we discussed it in DynamoDB. Design the database schema to capture relevant user inputs, preferences, and historical interactions. Yes, obviously, all these we are going to store it in the DynamoDB. This is about second activity. Third one is integrate language model with AWS SageMaker. How it is leverage AWS SageMaker and AWS service for building, training, and deploying machine learning models to integrate the LLM into the chatbot architecture. See, basically, what we are supposed to do, we have the historical data, but we are supposed to train the chatbot by feeding deep learning models, deep learning data, that data. So we are going to do that through SageMaker here. Train the LLM using historical data to make personalized recommendations. Yes, obviously. So the personalized recommendations, these will go to chatbot to display into the interface, user interface. Next one, fourth one, implement chain of thought prompting mechanism. Create a COT prompting mechanism with the chatbot application. whenever the LLM generates recommendations, trigger the mechanism to capture intermediate steps and decision points. Yes, obviously, this need to be implemented for chain of thought process, thought prompts. So let us say if you write one prompt, then you get some other idea. You're going to write some more prompts to get the data, detailed data from ChatGPT. The similar way, chatbot also need to be designed. That mechanism need to be embedded in the chatbot. So explainability. Next one, fifth activity is explainability. Explainability APIs with AWS Comprehend. Comprehend is a service we saw that in the beginning. Utilize AWS Comprehend, a natural language processing service, to extract meaningful explanations from the LLM's decision-making process. We have done the decision-making process in the previous activities through different services. So that is integrated with Comprehend here. And implement explainability API to gain insights into the factors influencing the chatbot's recommendation. Basically, the recommendations are going to be supplied by the chatbot to the user, and the user is going to give the feedback. All this data is going to be analyzed it, and it is going to be saved in the backend. We discussed in one of the activities. The data is going to be put into the S3 also as feedback survey or something like that. So that kind of things are going to be implemented. So, if you have any questions, how do you feel this overall course design for coaching, for building chatbot?
Okay. So I'll understand about the prompting and what are the roles can be introduced AWS AWS prompt engineer or any cloud solution prompt designer, and what are the things done by that prompt engineer in the cloud itself. And here are some POCs also to done by the to prove ourselves AI.
So you got the idea to start the work kind of thing. The POs is one, right? If guidance is given and activities and tasks are given to you, right?
By using ChatGPT and
clarity is there, right?
Yes.
You have the clarity. Or you have any questions?
Yeah, I come to know the clarity. Yeah.
Okay, you are with clarity. So now let us close this call. So we'll end this meeting. We'll come back with another meeting later on. Okay. Thank you.